It's also free and a great opportunity to meet other people.
It's a free opportunity to meet. What are you saying, meeting new young people?
Like yourselves.
They might not
want to meet us. We're great, why don't they?
Yeah. Or this is a free opportunity, come along and try it out at a recruitment workshop.
In your area.
Does anybody go, oh, I can see music of this style working really well?
You could have a little thing for Tarka the Otter. It's quite a, and you have an otter with some music. You were an otter once.
Yeah, we could do like a dance.
I like the board.
What was it like for them going to war and coming back? Many of them, of course, came back, but they may have suffered from shell shock afterwards. Illnesses. My grandfather came back in 1918, but he died in 1925 from a condition which he'd acquired during the war.
My informant said he was arrested and they found a whole lot of sketches on him that are sketches of what in Princetown, maybe the prison or something, you just don't know. But what's nice is that it's an actual, again, it's a story from Dartmoor of an actual character, a character who was the scissor grinder, wearing this particular hat and having a beard and being thought, whether correctly or not, being thought of as a spy.
Anything else anyone wants to say?
On that last page, one of the ones we found is the drawing.
This one?
Yeah,
It's done
that
by
was
a
drawn
conscious
by a conscious projector, so it's kind
Really?
of like what they,
That's really
what they saw.
I'm sure there must have been some artists, not just artists, just regular people who were imprisoned, in their opinion, incorrectly because they were pacifists during the time of the war, in that they just didn't believe that there should have been any conflict going on, and they were imprisoned simply because they didn't think that any war was necessary throughout the whole time, and therefore they were imprisoned because of that specifically, and that's quite a it's quite a horrible realistic view to have of that time, because whilst some people were worrying about things that were happening in other countries to them, they were thinking, can't I be impartial to this? Can't I just not be involved in any way? And they didn't have that choice. You literally didn't have your freedom. You'd either go to war and risk your life, or not be able to live your life as you know it.
And it's sort of a bit of backdrop music to go with the breathing, so it just provides tension, it builds up, and then eventually the climax of going over.
Right.
That's what we've sort of got.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Do you want to try again?
Yes, I
Yeah, okay.
It's based on the ceasefire line, so there's an underlying repetitiveness and then the rising scale, which
meeting.
Yeah.
So, and then scissor grinder walks in.
Lumber, yeah.
Oh, I've got a, oh, it's a
Yeah,
five.
lumber.
Scissor grinder enters.
Looking shifted.
Looking.
So how is the scissor grinder going to fit into the plot? I'm not quite sure how.
Is he actually a spy, or do they just suspect him?
Some sharpened scissors, because that's how they make a living.
So what's it like living with a conscientious objector?
fine, I guess. You don't really talk about it. I'm not allowed.
Isn't it a bit embarrassing when you're walking through the street with him?
No. I don't let it get to me. I just... To be honest, I don't like talking about it.
I love it when I get a little letter from him on the front line and...
Okay, just stop, okay? You could be a good friend about it. I want my son to go to war. It is embarrassing.
As she watched, the ream became a swirl. The otter on...
She was sat outside because her husband had died,
Yes.
so she wasn't with him. You can just see a scene like that.
Yeah, and maybe she comes and says, like... Maybe she says something to everyone. She can do a big speech or something about how they're being treated or something. Barbara and Kitty getting together, that was an idea. Abide with me, the hymn.
Yeah, I think that should happen. It'll be a really nice end.
We're about to start the Conches Road and we're gonna die before we get up there because it's so hot. No, she No, she was doing some kind of like storybooks for Dad or something. Hogarth, that rings a bell.
Hogarth?
Yeah.
So where's he?
It doesn't say. I don't think they're up to. Like we need to know the date because it's in order of date.
There's no point in photocopying the whole lot. Listen up.
In the year 1917, Mr. Norman Brooke, aged 20, was imprisoned as a conscientious objector in Dartmoor prison. Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. Talk me through what you're doing here, Lily. What are you doing with that stick?
Sharpening it.
Why?
Into a marshmallow tasting fork.
Yummy.
Could you be the otter charmer? It's lovely.
Your lancet here on the screen, we see his shadow pointing his lancet here. But something probably more interesting would happen if you point your lancet at something completely different, and only on the screen the two of you come together somehow.
Yeah.
Three, two, one, go.
What did you do in the war, Daddy?
Digging the tin from round the rubble is certainly hard work.
your education has made use of, Sam. You may think you can muck in and pass time as a tinner with all your ideas of equality, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. At the end of the day, your family own this mine. Show your hands. Look, see? Blisters everywhere.
It doesn't mean I'm not working hard.
Alright, you're working hard. But the work here is hard. Satisfied, your lordship?
Mind you, I don't envy them on the front.
Still, I'd rather be them. At least they're fighting for their country, not stuck in some lousy tin mine on Dartmoor.
You must be joking. Anyway, Rob, we are helping the war effort, providing them with this tin and all. Tin is used in the war roll. Without it, they'd be screwed.
Even so, think of it. The bravery, the camaraderie, just doing something worthwhile. Sam, you could be national heroes.
Or not. You'll more likely end up dead than arrive home a national hero.
Well, I do envy them. Oh, good, you've got our lunch. Save me from your fella's lecture about the dangers of war.
Well, you won't be having my lunches on the front line.
See, Ron, another thing you'll miss. Your sister and her food. Beatrix clearly agrees with me. You can't go to war.
It's lovely to see young people learning, understanding, and giving such an amazing, nuanced performance and script about something very, very complex. I've been to many, many things about the First World War in the past. I was part of the Orthodox Society when it was set up, but actually this is one of the best things I've seen that has really captured what Wilfred Owen called the pity of war. And those local stories and the different stories that underpin people's actual experiences at the time. And to see something that has empowered young people to come together in this way is exactly what the Lottery is looking for through its Young Roots programme. And I think this hit so many of those different hidden stories and brought them out in such a good way. And I'd also like to say how fabulous the piece around Henry Williamson and Tarka was, which is right at the beginning. That was one of the definitive books in my life, why I ended up as an environmentalist, as I am still. So it's really nice to see that performance, bringing together Devon, the First World War, and one of our greats of literature. So thank you ever so much. And I hope the performance this afternoon goes well as well. But brilliant.